Hi Cheyenne Truth, it's Jenny in the Shit Show. With me today. So what we're gonna do on here is we're gonna start, like it's gonna be in segments. This one's gonna be called The Life of Jennifer WoodenLegs. And the reason I picked Jennifer WoodenLegs to come on is because her story, I know her story. It absolutely crushes me. It gives me hope. It makes me sad. It makes me think of all the other young ladies and young men who have maybe can relate to her, maybe give hope. And what it does for me is it shows why a lot of young women and men turn to drugs and alcohol, why we keep getting into these relationships that keep failing, why we continue to let ourselves be the victim and to be abused and to take on all that stuff that we really shouldn't be taking on. And it's really easy to say, you know, don't do that. What are you doing? Why are you acting like this? Why are you letting another man treat you like this? But when you hear the story that a lot of you people probably can relate to, some of you can't, you'll learn from it. You'll understand why maybe it's easier said than done to go ahead and just get strong really quick. Pull your head out of your ass. But it's really hard when you've been beat down your whole life and to where you're completely fucking nothing. All you are is a piece of shit, and that's what you think. You really aren't. But when you hear that stuff, it gets into your mind and you actually start believing it. So with me today is my sister. My mom took her as a daughter, and she's always been my sister. Her name is Jennifer WoodenLegs, and welcome to the Cheyenne Truth and the Shit Show, Jenny.
Hi.
These are the viewers. So what I want her to do is just come on, and we're going to do it in segments because it's going to be long. They'll be about a half an hour. And I want her just to start from what she remembers until the present time right now. So we'll be tuning in and we'll be calling these, you know, The Life of Jennifer WoodenLegs, take 1. Life of Jennifer WoodenLegs, take 2. So with that being said, I'm going to get all the comments and move them to the side so we don't see them, and I'll let her take over. If you want me to.
Yeah, that'd be better.
Okay. Jenny.
Okay.
Can you start talking? I want to know your complete life story from what you remember. I want it to be raw. You don't have to mention any names, but I want it to be raw, and you don't have to. Okay, we're good. I want it to be raw, and you can actually, you don't even have to look. You can just kind of even just tell me like what your life has been like from what you remember.
Okay. Well, hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm 42. I've been on this earth for 42 years, and it has been a very long, hard struggle. I do remember when I was little, I was adopted out to a family that lived in Spokane. And I guess that's kind of where my life started. Was I grew up in Spokane with my family, and I do remember some stuff happening while I was living there by some babysitters. And
You're talking about like a sexual abuse?
Yeah, like sexual abuse by male babysitters that my parents had watching me.
How old were you?
I was probably like 4.
Okay.
So that's where I remember was I was about 4 years old. And my parents worked all the time, and I had school, so I remember coming home and going to their houses and things happening and stuff, and you just learn to deal with it as a child because nobody's going to believe you what's happening.
How did it make you feel?
It made me feel dirty and unwanted.
Kind of weak?
Yeah. And so I grew
Mm-hmm.
and I was reacquainted with my real dad, and I moved home when I was 8, and I lived with my dad and my stepmom and all of my siblings. And then some abuse started happening then when I was 8 and a half by a relative. And that went on until I was almost 11. And then I finally told
when that happened, so you were abused when you were 4, and that went on. So when it happened when you were 11, was it just, did you almost think like, this is just what happens?
This is just what happens. Men just do this to me.
Okay. And that was your job almost, do you think?
Yeah.
Like that's what, you were just kind of almost programmed?
Yeah, already. Okay. To just give pleasure to men as a female human, I guess.
Yep.
No matter the age.
And no one's listening.
And then so I was about 11 when I finally told my school counselor.
And what happened with that?
I was taken away and I was sent to a home for children, young women, to Minnesota. And then I stayed there for 2.5 years. And then social service, I got sent back to the Ranger Social Services, and I was placed in a foster home. And then I went to school at Chemawa for 3.5 years. 3.5 years, and everything was good. Everything was good in my foster home and stuff. And she sent me to school, and then I graduated high school, and then I got into a relationship right after rookie school. I had just turned 18. I had just had my first daughter, Felicia, and right after that, I got into a relationship for 10 years.
And in that relationship, how was that relationship?
It was very horrible.
Traumatic?
Very traumatic. I've had residual PTSD from it, anxiety. I'm in fear for my life a lot. Just a lot of abuse, mental, spiritual, sexual, everything.
And you stayed in that relationship because you were programmed as a young child that's almost what I think.
That's what love is.
And and you kind of deserve that.
Yeah.
And that's what you're worth?
Yeah, that was my worth then. Because I didn't do things good enough, so I got beat for it. I wasn't a good enough wife. I wasn't a good enough mother. I didn't do things right. And so I thought I deserved it. Because I'd never been treated any better my entire life. And I thought, oh, well, at least he's taking care of me.
And there's a lot of people out there that are living that right now. And how would you even talk to someone, Jenny, and how would you even start? Because I don't know, how would you even start to get healthy and to break away from that? What changed? Because I know you're working on that today.
So it took me 23 years to change my thinking and my worth, because I was almost killed twice by both of my spouses.
If you think of that, you dealt with it for that long of your life, do you think that's about how long it's going to take to get
out of it
better in your mind?
I do believe so. Because it took 23 years to program me that way, so I think it's going to take about that long to unprogram. I mean, even though I know I'm worth a lot now, it's right there. It's right there.
Because I was just talking to you about that. I said, even though you look together and you know that you're pretty and what your worth is, I still see you and what I see from you is very codependent. You're always wanting to help and make things better, and you're always trying to, like, in a way, find someone to love you.
Yeah.
And it's because you're craving that
because I never had
yes.
I've never had like true love and true happiness and somebody that